esté ready para exportar. La República de Guyana está de moda, todos los ojos del mundo están en ella y hoy tenemos una voz muy autorizada para hablar de eso, el doctor Peter Ramsaroop, que es el encargado de promover las inversiones en Guyana. Dr. Ramsaroop, welcome. Please tell us, everybody is talking about Guyana in the Dominican Republic. Why Guyana and why it's important beyond oil and gas?
Well, you know, both of our presidents, His Excellency Dr. Ali and the DR president, congratulations on his return to office. We've had a very good relationship over the last few years. We have been looking at the DR in many, many areas of expertise. The DR is an established country, 11 million plus population. GDP growth has been significant. They have done many things that we are now at the stage where we are developing our country, given our newfound wealth in oil and gas, manufacturing, in agriculture, and on our expansion. So we are looking at the DR, and we've had many visits between the two countries, both at the top level government and in the business-to-business chambers. And both Pro Dominica and Guyana Officer Investment to sign an official agreement to promote each agency and promote the investment landscape between the two countries. So it's an exciting opportunities. DR is known for tourism. We are now trying to expand our ecotourism. We have to build out our airports. We know Putacana, for example, have one of the most modern airports in Guyana. So we're in conversation with the developers of Putacana. How could they look at, say, building out a Terminal 2, for example? We have turned to interagency, or I can't remember the exact name of the energy companies in the DR to help us expand our operations in Guyana. So there are many, many opportunities that we're looking between the two countries, and it's really at the infancy stages. And I know our Prime Minister will be visiting the DR for the inauguration in a few days, and those conversations will continue.
For those businesses that still have not gone to Guyana, now we have direct flights, so they should go and visit Guyana. What it is, that development, tell them a little bit about some of the sectors. One of the things that impressed me about Guyana is how well planned you are on the different sectors and different needs of the country, and how aligned your public and private sector are, which is also sometimes very difficult to do.
Yeah, well, His Excellency Dr. Ali has put out a measurable plan, Vision 2030 and beyond, where how we see as government Guyana moving forward. There are three main sectors that we have focused on: climate security, which, as you know, our forest is the size of Great Britain. It stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon, worth $195 billion. So we are a green economy. We are food secure. We're actually expanding the food security as a target for Guyana. We are the size of Great Britain in terms of acreage. A lot of our lands are fully arable lands for growth. So we believe in large-scale agriculture, moving into like soybean and corn. For example, we're interested in the DR. They've been doing hatchery for poultry for decades. We want companies like that to help us set up that in Guyana, so we become more self-sufficient, and then we become a net exporter of poultry to the region. And then thirdly is the energy security. Guyana energy costs will come down by 50%, making it much more competitive than even in the DR. So we're looking for the manufacturing companies that want to expand their operations out of DR to come to Guyana because our energy costs are going to be competitive with the wider world in the manufacturing sector. And those are the three areas that we're concentrating on. And then overall on the hospitality and ecotourism side, why reinvent the wheel when the DR has done a great job at attracting millions of visitors per year? How could we twin the product? You can go to the beach and sand, but also you can come to the Amazons of Guyana. And as you mentioned, that direct flight was an important ingredient in connecting the two countries together.
You're also connecting to your neighbors. You're building new roads to North Brazil, to Suriname. Tell us a little bit about that, because when people think about Guyana, not only of all the exciting things that happen in there, but also covering regional as well.
Yes, but I tell most investors, the market is not just Guyana. Guyana may be small in terms of our buying power, but Suriname, for example, which is right next door, we're going to be bridging the Suriname, has equal opportunities in oil and gas. Northern Brazil is landlocked. So a ship passing Guyana takes about 7 more days for that container to get to northern Brazil. We're actually looking to build out the deep port. We're actually building the roads to Brazil. The bridge is already done by President Lula in his last administration. So the connectivity, and then to CARICOM as a whole. So for example, CARICOM, excluding the DR, imports close to $10 billion worth of food. Now we know the CARICOM Treaty says if you can grow it and build it in a CARICOM country, the other countries must buy it. So I think that looking at the wider market of Guyana is where DR investors need to pay attention. It's not just Guyana, it's CARICOM as a whole, it's northern Brazil, which is landlocked, and then our access to the wider market, which some of the trade agreements we have is very similar to the DR. So it's not that DR will be losing any markets. I think by expanding into Guyana, they're actually gaining markets that wouldn't have preferential treatment to right now. And that's why we find the investors coming in more quicker and often into Guyana.
And there's also opportunity for joint venture between companies from Dominican Republic and Guyana to do support services to all those developments, right?
Yes, and I can tell you many. If you talk to the Chamber of Commerce in DR and the Chamber of Commerce in Guyana, they have both joined forces. There are many joint ventures already in place. The Building Expo recently, we saw a lot of DR companies. And so it is happening daily that the joint ventures are taking place. And that's what we prefer. And that's what I think in both investors in foreign direct investment preferred is working with a local partner. And our local partners are very ready. Some own land, government is willing to give incentives. Very good incentives. For example, if you build a manufacturing plant, all your machinery and equipment will be duty-free coming into the country. And our agency is dedicated to helping you now market that product around the world because it becomes a Guyanese product. We are a green economy. We're looking to move to big things such as the electric cars. Why build electric cars in a country that has high emissions? Why not building it in Guyana? I know I went to Punta Cana and I saw the first gas station, and it wasn't a gas station, it was an electric station, and I think that's a great investment for Guyana as we move into renewable energies. I hope one of those companies that did it in Punta Cana will come and build one similar to Guyana, and that will bring more of the EV vehicles development and production in our country also.
You mentioned agriculture and the CARICOM market, not just Guyana. What are the facilities for the investment in agriculture?
Well, one, we have the land. We have large-scale land. So if you decide to grow, you're growing at large scale. Given our energy costs will come down by 50% in 2025, makes your agro-processing side now of that. If you look at the shelves of DR and shelves of the Caribbean, you're going to see pineapples in a can that is coming from around the world. Wait a minute, Guyana got the best pineapples. We got the best coconuts. our coconuts combined with DR coconuts can actually create a product to the wide world. And I know we are doing that right now. There are companies in Guyana selling coconuts to Miami. DR is selling coconuts to Miami, but somebody's finishing the product. We want to finish the product right here. So we're asking DR, instead of us shipping our coconuts out, let's figure out how to create that coconut industry in Guyana. And that's a real opportunity sitting between the two countries right now.
If there is a company interested in learning more about that, where they should go?
Right. The first is visit our website, GuyanaOfficeForInvestment.com or GuyanaInvest.com. It's very comprehensive. We even have an AI engine. You can ask questions. And in every sector tells you about what we are looking for, what the incentives are, and ultimately our office is here to help an investor, guided them through the system. On our website also tells you how to do business in Guyana, what is required, how to set up your company. And we're, again, very open, very friendly. Our president wants the relationship between the Dominican Republic and Guyana to be almost an exclusive relationship between the manufacturing sector, the energy sector, agriculture sector. So investors will find a very friendly environment. And I know we're pushing also in joining forces there. So we're sending our businesses. I can tell you right now, there's a fertilizer plant that is being developed, a local investor in Guyana and a local investor in DR have come together to build the first fertilizer plant in our country.
Excellent. All of those are very good news. Well, we thank you for sharing with us some of those opportunities. And certainly we're going to put the website so that everybody can look at it. It's very impressive, the amount of publications, who is who, and data that not only your office, but also other public and private sector entities. So there's a lot of information already.
Yeah, and I would recommend, there's the Guyana-DR Chamber of Commerce that is already established. So companies can go right to the DR Guyana Chamber of Commerce and get a lot of good information. And the embassy in Guyana, the DR embassy in Guyana, is very active with us. So there's a lot of folks in government, non-government, that is there to help make that entrance into Guyana market better, and our entrance into the DR market. It's a two-way street also. Yeah,
and I think it's there's also a pull effect. Like I have seen companies that not even they were not exporting, and somebody have asked for quotation, and for the first time they are seeing, okay, there are opportunities in Guyana. Let's look at that. So yeah, definitely that initiative is showing a lot of results. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramsaroop, for
thank you very much. Appreciate your time too.
And we are encourage everybody to look and visit Guyana, because it is very different from Dominican Republic, but it has also a lot to offer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A ustedes los esperamos la próxima semana en Ready para Exportar y en Metrópolis.